What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at Maggie, directed by Henry Hobson. Maggie tells the story of a post apocalyptic world that is infested with a zombie virus. And it follows the story of this character named Maggie, who is infected with the virus, and her father, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, is trying everything in his power to try and cherish the final moments he has with his daughter, while also wrestling with the fact that eventually he's going to have to take care of Maggie's problem. So, yeah, the basic plot line for this movie is relatively simple, but let's talk about this movie. Now, I thought that Maggie, now I've only seen Maggie twice, so I don't have much of a connection with this movie. When I saw the movie the first time, I thought it was okay. After seeing it the second time, I still think the movie is actually really, really good. I have issues with it, but I overall think this is a very, very solid movie. This is a drama horror. This is not a, and this is also not your typical Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. You know, if you're going into this thing saying, "Oh man, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's gonna fight some zombies. It's gonna be like Commando, only with zombies." No, this ain't that type of movie. This is a dreary, dark, depressing, almost humorless, almost humorless movie. This movie is so bleak. It's so depressing. It's almost it almost feels like a slug to sit through in a lot of areas because this movie lacks just those simple moments of levity where these characters have can just let loose and just act like characters. The movie has scenes. The movie does have some scenes like that, but they're always undercut by something very overly, by something just very dramatic and something just very heart and gut wrenching. And it kind of makes the movie not unwatchable, but it makes it a slug to sit through because it's just so bleak. Now, but but on the other side of the coin, this movie is also really well acted and very very well directed, and from a production standpoint, has does really have good cinematography, and the grim atmosphere really does add to the story overall. This movie just needs more moments of levity, and to me personally, I think the pacing could have been done a little bit better because the movie is some sort of is can be a slug to sit through in a lot of areas. There are certain scenes that do kind of drag on, and you could have cut maybe 1 or 2 minutes from it, and it would have had a much better flow. That's just my opinion personally. So yeah, it's a pacing issue with this movie, and also the fact that it's just too overly serious. But everything else, on the other hand, I thought was good. The cast in this movie is really strong. Arnold Schwarzenegger as this man called Wade, who is trying to cherish the final moments with his daughter while also wrestling with the fact that he has to eventually take her down. Arnold gives an absolutely fantastic performance in this movie. I've been saying it for a very, very long time. If you give Arnold the chance, the man is a very capable actor. Watch Terminator 2. Watch the scenes where Arnold has to be dramatic in that movie. He pulls it off perfectly. I have known that since I was a kid. How it took critics to watch this movie to finally realize what Arnold's capable of, it's baffling to me. And to me, it's the fact that they just can't separate the man from his action movies, and that's a damn shame on them, not on Arnold, on them. Because I've always had faith in Arnold as an actor, and in this movie, he really gets to sell. He puts on a very nuanced and dramatic performance, and he's utterly fantastic and relatable. You know, the hulking Arnold has to wrestle with the fact that he's gonna have to kill his own daughter. If not, she's going to turn into a zombie and potentially cause harm to others. And it's a very relatable character. You know, it's something that anyone can relate to. Abigail Breslin, who plays the daughter of Maggie, I thought she was very, very fine in the role, and I love the scenes with Maggie, with Breslin and Arnold. They really get a chance to sell the loving father and daughter relationship that they have. It's very, very natural. It's very real, and it works for me. And they play it off so well with one another. I really, really enjoyed their chemistry. The scene where they get to sell their chemistry is where the character of Wade tells Maggie the story about how Maggie got her name. It's a very nuanced, sweet, tender moment between the two characters, and it really sells their relationship. Uh, when this movie has to show its zombie attacks, it's very suspenseful and it's very atmospheric. I'll give it that. This movie does not have nonstop zombie attacks. They're very few and far between. And it's okay. This movie is a horror drama with a zombie movie backdrop, but there's a lack of zombie attacks. You can take with that what you will. If you really want, and you can also you can actually apply this movie to today's world because they talk about things like quarantining and when people get infected by the zombie curse, they got to go into quarantine, and it's kind of relatable to the real world how we're all in a quarantine and how we're basically, the COVID-19 world is almost a post-apocalyptic world, kind of similar to Maggie, which is a world that has to live with where they have to pretty much go about their everyday lives, but there's the lingering threat of zombies all around. Not saying that COVID-19 breeds zombies, but it's the same notion of a world that has to pretty much adapt to a current situation that they're in. So you can apply today's what's happening today with this movie, and they're very very eerily similar. Um, so yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got to say when it comes to Maggie. Like again, I think the movie is good. I enjoyed it a lot. Arnold and Breslin give outstanding performances. I thought Henry Hobson as a director did a really good job from a visual standpoint and a production value standpoint. It's a good looking movie, though I think this movie's color palette can use a little bit more color. It's very very muted to the point where everything is just so dark and gloomy, and there's like no sense of color. There's nothing. There's like this movie has no color. It's all like saturated and gray, and it's just very depressing. And one of the things this movie desperately needed was just moments of levity of these characters acting like real people, and just for a split second, not living in the life, not living in this zombified world that they're in. So yeah, overall thoughts on Maggie? I'm gonna give it a solid 7 out of 10. I do think it's a really good movie, but I do have some issues with it. But overall, it's solid, and I do recommend it. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Maggie. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I will check you back next time for more.